7 powers of women who make money by quietly multiplying without effort. At first it sounds like a contradiction. Money usually follows movement, exposure, negotiation, pressure. Effort is visible, growth is noisy. Yet if you observe carefully, the most stable expansion rarely comes from visible force. It comes from internal order. The most powerful woman in any room is rarely the loudest. She does not compete for attention. She does not rush to prove her worth. She does not react to every shift in tone, every opinion, every fluctuation. And still, her influence grows, her resources grow, her leverage grows. From the outside it looks effortless. From the inside, it is disciplined precision. Many women are exhausted not from lack of capability, but from constant emotional expenditure. Proving, responding, explaining, adjusting to noise. There is pressure to be visible at all times, to show progress, to defend competence, to react quickly. And in that constant reaction, energy leaks, focus fragments, capital stalls. What if multiplication is not about doing more, but about wasting less? What if financial growth mirrors internal structure? What if the real force behind wealth is not intensity, but composure? Stoicism does not teach passivity. It teaches governance, governance over attention, governance over reaction, governance over interpretation. And when those are governed, external results begin to stabilize, not because luck intervenes, but because chaos is reduced. These 7 powers are not tactics. They are internal architectures. They shape how energy is protected, how exposure is managed, how time is allocated, how emotion is processed. They move from emotional reactivity to strategic restraint, from noise to structure, from effortful striving to controlled expansion. What looks effortless from the outside is often internally governed with precision, and that precision is where multiplication begins. She does not spend emotional energy carelessly. Money does not multiply where energy leaks. And emotional energy is the first currency most people waste without noticing. Arguments that change nothing, opinions that demand reaction, comparisons that ignite insecurity. Every reaction feels justified in the moment, but each one costs something. Most people drain themselves responding to noise. They answer what does not deserve an answer. They defend what does not require defense. They internalize criticism from those who hold no strategic weight in their lives. Emotional reactions become daily expenses, small withdrawals that seem insignificant, yet accumulate into depletion. She operates differently. She understands that emotional energy is capital, and capital must be protected before it can be multiplied. Not every comment deserves attention. Not every disagreement requires engagement. Not every fluctuation demands adjustment. She filters before she reacts. This is not indifference. It is discipline, stoic discipline. The understanding that what disturbs you is not the event itself, but your judgment about it, and judgment can be governed. When emotional reactions are minimized, mental clarity increases. When clarity increases, decisions improve. When decisions improve, outcomes stabilize. Energy mismanagement precedes financial stagnation. If your focus is constantly hijacked by minor provocations, your attention cannot stay long enough on what compounds. Compounding requires sustained focus. Sustained focus requires protected energy. She does not waste emotional intensity on short-term irritations. She reserves it for strategic moments. She chooses when to care deeply and when to remain neutral. That neutrality is not weakness, it is conservation, and conservation creates leverage. What most call strength is often just loud reaction. Real strength is selective response. When you stop spending emotional capital on what does not build you, you begin accumulating internal wealth, and internal wealth precedes external multiplication. She separates visibility from value. In a world that rewards exposure, it is easy to confuse being seen with being valuable. Constant presence feels like progress. Frequent posting feels like productivity. Immediate response feels like relevance. Yet visibility and value are not the same currency. One attracts attention, the other builds leverage. Many believe that if they are not constantly visible, they will be forgotten. That silence equals irrelevance, so they explain too much, share too much, reveal plans too early, react publicly to every shift. But overexposure reduces strategic advantage. When everything is revealed, nothing holds weight. She understands this distinction. Not everything valuable needs to be displayed. Not every move requires announcement. She develops quietly. She refines skill without broadcasting the process. She builds assets without performing the effort. By the time her results are visible, the foundation is already strong. This is not secrecy driven by fear. It is invisibility driven by control. Stoicism teaches detachment from applause. When you no longer depend on validation, your decisions become cleaner. You are no longer negotiating your direction with public opinion. You are operating from internal standards. Silence creates space. Space creates mystique. Mystique creates leverage. When you are not constantly explaining yourself, your words carry more weight. When you are not always available, your presence becomes more valuable. Controlled exposure increases authority. Most people trade privacy for attention. She trades attention for positioning. She chooses when to enter the room and when to observe from outside it. That choice alone shifts power dynamics. She does not seek to dominate visibility. She seeks to dominate timing. Authority compounds, noise fades. She thinks in systems, not in episodes. Most people live reacting to episodes. A good month creates confidence. A bad week creates doubt. A single opportunity feels decisive. A single loss feels catastrophic. Their mindset rises and falls with isolated events. This is emotional thinking disguised as strategic thinking. She operates from a different framework. She does not evaluate her life based on moments. She evaluates based on structure. One deal does not define her trajectory. One rejection does not threaten her stability. She asks a different question. What system produced this outcome, and how can that system be improved? When you think in episodes, you chase intensity. When you think in systems, you build consistency. Systems reduce dependency on mood. They reduce dependency on timing. They reduce dependency on luck. Structure creates repetition. Repetition creates predictability. Predictability creates multiplication. Stoicism reinforces this orientation. Control the process, not the applause. Focus on what you can repeat with discipline, not what you can celebrate once. Wealth that compounds is rarely the result of emotional bursts. It is the result of processes that function even when enthusiasm fades. She builds routines that generate outcomes. She designs environments that support focus. She removes friction from productive habits. Instead of asking how she feels today, she asks what the system requires today. This shift alone changes everything. When a setback occurs, she does not internalize it as identity failure. She analyzes it as system feedback. Something needs adjustment, not emotional drama. That calm analysis preserves energy and protects capital. Emotional spikes drain attention. Structural thinking concentrates it. Most people try harder when things go wrong. She improves the structure. Most people celebrate intensely when things go right. She reinforces the system that made it possible. This consistency prevents volatility, and volatility is the enemy of compounding. Money multiplies where structure exists. Influence grows where process is repeatable. Stability forms where emotion does not dictate direction. Systems outlast episodes, and those who think structurally are not shaken by isolated events. What looks like effortless growth is often disciplined architecture, operating quietly beneath the surface. She treats time as capital, not calendar. Most people experience time as something that passes. Days fill with tasks, conversations, obligations, distractions. At the end of the week there is movement but little multiplication. Time was spent but not invested. Activity occurred, but compounding did not. She does not relate to time as a sequence of hours to survive. She relates to it as capital to allocate. Every hour carries potential return or potential loss. Every commitment either strengthens structure or fragments focus. She asks a disciplined question before agreeing to anything. Does this generate long-term leverage or short-term stimulation? Busyness is not proof of progress. In many cases, it is proof of misalignment. When time is treated as calendar, it becomes something to fill. When treated as capital, it becomes something to grow. This shift transforms daily decisions. Meetings become strategic choices. Conversations become investments. Silence becomes productive space. Stoic clarity reinforces this view. You do not control how long you live, but you control how you use the time given. What receives sustained attention expands. What is neglected stagnates. When attention is scattered across trivial demands, nothing compounds. When attention is concentrated, results accelerate quietly. She does not confuse urgency with importance. She does not allow minor fluctuations to hijack core priorities. Her calendar reflects her values. If something does not align with her structural goals, it does not receive premium time. This is not coldness, it is allocation discipline. Most people trade time for immediate validation. She invests time into assets that grow without constant supervision. Skills, relationships of strategic depth, financial structures, intellectual development. These are not glamorous in the short term, but they compound relentlessly. Time mismanaged cannot be recovered. Capital lost can sometimes be rebuilt. But hours dissipated into distraction never return. She understands this asymmetry. That awareness makes her protective without becoming rigid, flexible, yet deliberate. Multiplication without visible effort is often the result of disciplined time allocation over extended periods. What looks sudden to observers is usually the outcome of months or years of structured investment. She does not chase the clock. She positions her time so that it works for her. And when time is aligned with structure, growth stops being accidental and starts being inevitable. She does not react to short-term fluctuations. Markets fluctuate. People change their tone. Opportunities appear and disappear. Income rises and falls. Opinions shift. Trends evolve. If your internal state mirrors every external movement, stability becomes impossible. Emotional volatility leaks into financial volatility. Most people respond to short-term changes with immediate adjustment. A temporary dip feels like failure. A sudden gain feels like proof of superiority. They tighten when they should observe. They celebrate when they should stabilize. Their decisions are driven by recent events rather than structural analysis. She does not allow short-term fluctuations to dictate long-term direction. A bad week does not alter her standards. A good month does not relax her discipline. She understands that noise exists within every cycle. If she reacts to each oscillation, she sacrifices consistency. And consistency is the foundation of multiplication. Stoic reasoning strengthens this posture. External instability does not justify internal instability. Circumstances vary. Judgment remains governed. If she anchored her identity to every temporary outcome, her clarity would dissolve. Instead, she anchors to principle and evaluates change through perspective, not panic. Calm compounds. Panic liquidates. When others overreact, they make impulsive decisions that cost capital, reputation, and focus. She pauses. She examines. She separates signal from noise. Not every movement requires action. Sometimes the strongest position is deliberate inaction. Short-term volatility tests discipline. It exposes whether your structure is emotional or rational. Many abandon strategy at the first sign of discomfort. She reinforces it. Many intensify recklessness when rewarded too quickly. She maintains equilibrium. This steadiness builds trust, internally and externally. People rely on those who remain composed under pressure. Markets reward those who avoid emotional extremes. Relationships deepen when consistency replaces reactivity. Multiplication without visible strain often comes from resisting the urge to constantly adjust to surface movement. When you stop reacting to every shift, you protect your trajectory. Stability allows long-term positioning. Long-term positioning allows leverage. She understands that storms pass. What remains is the architecture built beneath them, and architecture requires composure, not impulse. She builds quiet leverage before public movement. Most people announce before they are ready. They reveal plans while they are still fragile. They seek recognition before building structure. And when pressure arrives, the foundation cannot sustain it. Visibility without preparation creates instability. She reverses the order. She prepares first. She studies in silence. She builds skill without broadcasting effort. She strengthens connections quietly. She organizes resources before entering negotiation. By the time movement becomes visible, the leverage already exists. This is not fear of exposure, it is strategic sequencing. Stoic discipline teaches restraint before expression. Prepare privately, act deliberately. When your preparation exceeds your publicity, your confidence stabilizes. When your publicity exceeds your preparation, anxiety rises. Quiet leverage changes power dynamics. When others do not fully know your next move, your position strengthens. Predictability weakens advantage. Silence allows you to refine without interference. It allows you to correct mistakes before they become public setbacks. Most people chase momentum through visibility. She builds momentum through capability. Capability does not need constant announcement. It reveals itself at the right moment, and when it does, it appears effortless. Leverage is not loud. It is structural. It exists in skill depth, financial positioning, negotiation patience, intellectual clarity. These are accumulated gradually. They do not spike dramatically. They grow beneath the surface. By the time others notice her growth, she is already positioned ahead. Not because she moved faster in public, but because she moved earlier in private. That quiet head start compounds. It reduces risk. It increases optionality. Multiplication without visible effort often reflects long periods of unseen development. What appears sudden is rarely sudden. It is structured invisibility followed by deliberate emergence. She does not rush to be seen. She ensures that when she is seen, she cannot be easily displaced. She multiplies through consistency, not intensity. Intensity attracts attention. Consistency attracts growth. Many people move in bursts. They work obsessively for a short period, then disappear. They invest aggressively when motivated, then retreat when enthusiasm fades. Their energy spikes, but it does not stabilize. And without stabilization, multiplication cannot occur. She does not rely on emotional surges to move forward. She relies on repetition. The same standards applied daily, the same discipline exercised quietly, the same strategic patience sustained even when no one is watching. This repetition appears ordinary, yet it is the most extraordinary force in long-term expansion. Stoicism is built on this principle. Character precedes capital. If your internal posture shifts with mood, external results will fluctuate with it. But when your actions are aligned with principle rather than emotion, stability forms. Stability compounds. Compounding builds scale. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not generate applause. It does not create dramatic narratives. It creates accumulation. Small, disciplined behaviors repeated over time produce disproportionate outcomes. Skill deepens. Trust strengthens. Systems refine. Financial structures expand. Most abandon strategy when results are not immediate. She understands delay is part of compounding. Growth that multiplies quietly requires time. Impatience interrupts accumulation. Patience protects it. Effortless multiplication does not mean absence of effort. It means absence of wasted movement. No emotional overreaction, no unnecessary exposure, no impulsive restructuring, just deliberate repetition aligned with clear standards. When behavior is consistent, identity solidifies. When identity solidifies, decision-making accelerates. There is less internal debate, less oscillation, less confusion. Energy is directed forward, not sideways. The world rewards spectacle in the short term. It rewards discipline in the long term. She chooses long term. She chooses coherence over intensity. She chooses sustainable structure over dramatic force. And over time, what she builds appears effortless. Not because she did less, but because she wasted less. The quiet ascendancy. From the outside, it may look like ease, like momentum without strain, like money multiplying without visible force. But beneath that surface lies something far less dramatic and far more powerful: internal order. She does not dominate rooms, she governs herself. She does not chase attention, she manages energy. She does not react to every shift in the environment. She filters, selects, positions. And because her internal structure is stable, her external expansion becomes steady. Money is not merely the result of effort. It is often the reflection of discipline applied to attention, emotion, and time. When emotional chaos is reduced, clarity increases. When clarity increases, decisions improve. When decisions improve, capital compounds. This sequence is quiet. It is not sensational, but it is reliable. Power is not loudness. It is composure under pressure. It is the ability to remain measured when others accelerate impulsively. It is the refusal to leak energy through unnecessary reaction. It is strategic restraint combined with deliberate action. Silence is not absence, it is positioning. It creates space for preparation. It creates scarcity of access. It increases weight behind each movement. When every action is intentional, fewer actions are required. Multiplication without effort is not the absence of work. It is the absence of wasted movement, no emotional overspending, no exposure without preparation, no fluctuation-driven decisions, just structure, discipline, and repeated coherence. The world remains loud. It will continue demanding reaction. It will reward spectacle temporarily. It will pressure visibility. But the woman who governs herself does not depend on noise for growth. The world stays loud. She stays precise.